So, okay, we're going to start now. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Adab. Today I, Karishma Kapoor.
And I, Arushacharya, from Times of India, Bennett University, would like to welcome you all to the very awaited launch event of WIE, your Hackathon Guide, a refreshing and interactive session to bring out the best in you. Now, some of you might be wondering, what's IEEE WIE, Women in Engineering? WIE is one of the largest international professional organizations dedicated to promoting women engineers and scientists and inspiring girls to follow their academic interests to a career in various STEM fields.
WIE here at Bennett University focuses on building strong mentor networks, making lifelong friendships, and trying to make a difference not only for women, but also for the benefit of humanity. Being a beginner myself, I have had many questions regarding hackathons. What exactly are they? What does one do in a hackathon? What should a perfect hackathon team look like? And if you are like me and such questions have been in the back of your mind, fret not, as WIE has got the right thing for you. We have brought you an array of exceptionally qualified and profound speakers and mentors to develop and enhance your skills in order to ace hackathons and become a strong leader, presenter, and most important of all, a programmer working for a good cause.
Our first panelist for today is Mrs. Swati Anujarya, Chief Information Security Officer, Emerging Markets Amazon Pay at Amazon. She is an information security professional, trainer, speaker, and author with over 12 plus years of experience in cybersecurity, PSI, DSS, privacy, and risk management. She has been a judge at prestigious hackathons like Smart India Hackathon and has trained and mentored many students like us.
Next on the panel, we have Mr. Kuldeep Singh, Head of XR Practices India at ThoughtWorks, with an experience of over 17 years in bringing technology at the core of business. He has incubated the Center of Excellence for emerging technologies like Internet of Things, augmented reality, and virtual reality. He has judged and mentored prestigious hackathons like the Smart India Hackathon and Tech Nexus at NIT.
Finally, we have Miss Srishti Gupta as our panelist. She is a senior data analyst at Ernst and Young. She has been an international speaker at Microsoft Australia, speaking about leadership in community training and mentoring teams of over 1200 plus students and has won an award at National Data Center Summit for an energy conservation signal device. She has judged and mentored various prestigious hackathons at the Association for Computing Machinery.
We'd like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. It is truly an honor to have you all here with us today as our panelists. Moving on ahead to what we all have been waiting here for, and like we know that we all have been eagerly waiting to learn and interact with our esteemed panelists. IEEE welcome questions from our students regarding hackathons, and we'll be asking some of the top questions today. So the first question that we have here is for Kuldeep Singh sir, and the question is, what are the prerequisites or skill sets required before participating in a hackathon?
Wow, interesting question. Uh, Prerequisites is you just need one idea. That's the prerequisites to solve the idea that can solve a problem. That's it. I don't think any special skill you would need. We have been doing this ideation from our nature. Naturally, we do this. It's going in our mind. It's just that we sometimes don't consciously putting effort to identify that idea. And believe me, no idea is a bad idea. So which idea will succeed unless you experiment it, unless you talk about it, that idea will not fly. Just we have problem, we need solution. Now it is just that additional skill will be developed. There is no skill that cannot be developed. today. And we are talking to engineers. And every semester we are doing a lot of new courses. You might have not heard about them in your life before. So every day you're getting skill. So was there a prerequisites? No, I think every semester, is there any prerequisites for every semester? No. You are still learning new courses. You are still, so that's how this hackathon also you just need idea, and you need to be exceptional thinker who can take this idea, who can execute the idea, who can sell the idea. So I think that's what I can say on this. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So our next question would be for Swati ma'am. And the question is, what are the key factors that you look for while judging a project in a hackathon?
So, idea is definitely, as Kuldeep sir has said, that idea is something which has to be unique, and that's the crux of the project. I personally, when I judge the hackathons, I look for few more things. Idea plus, I also look at the execution. Uh, Honestly speaking, I can have an idea that I would like to go on Mars and build a new habitat there, and it's a good idea. But actually, how much execution can be done with the given time, skill set? So, how much you have delivered in that particular project or hackathon, and uh, is it solving the unique problem? And it should not be a copy paste. Sometimes students community, they copy and paste the idea as well as the solution. uh, Personally, I feel that we are good in a lot of things, and we need not to reinvent the wheel. And if there is anything which is already built, you can integrate it in your solution, but it should be solving a unique problem. It should be deliverable, and it should be executable at the right time, right? You may have developed something very well, but at the execution day it's not being delivered properly. So I look at all those points carefully, and is it solving the right problem, and is it targeting the actual issue? So these are some of the things that I look when evaluating some of these projects. And I have seen brilliant projects and team delivering very good projects or end solution with their unique ideas and execution.
Thank you, ma'am. So my next question is for Shrishti Gupta, ma'am. Can you briefly describe a roadmap to start preparing for a hackathon?
Definitely. So I think it's a multi-step process. So let's break it down into action steps that a student probably in the first or second year can take. So first of all, interact with people who've been to hackathons. Do not try to be a lone shark in the very beginning. Interact with people who've at least participated in hackathons so you get an idea about what really happens on the field. And then try to team up with them so as to bring about a set of diverse skill sets that you can share with them on the table. So for example, let's say in 11th 12th we did C++, HTML, CSS, basic computing skills you should know, so that when you are a team member you're not a liability but an asset. And if let's say somebody is not very comfortable with coding, so eventually, at least in school, we've all done presentations. We've at least spoken in front of an audience, a small audience, let's say our class. We've developed PowerPoint presentations. So be good at least in something. So when you go to someone to, be a part of a team, you have something to contribute. That's step number one. Step number two is be aware on social media about the hackathons that are taking place. Most of them are online these days, and earlier it was offline. I can share two sites which regularly update about hackathons. First is Eventbrite, and the second one is Hacker Earth. Be updated on them, be active, so that at least you know which hackathons are, let's say, beginner friendly. They do mention that it will be an advanced theme or it would be intermediate or beginner friendly. Try to participate in them. The third thing is that go with two objectives. instead of winning, go with two objectives. The first is that my objective is to explore and come across multitude of ideas, because when you participate in a hackathon you also get an opportunity to listen what other participants are going to pitch and how they solved the similar problem that was presented to you. So the first objective is to explore and come across a variety of ideas, go with an open mind. The second objective is to network, build a connection, build a lot of connections over there. Eventually, these might be the people you team up with in the future for your projects. So, three steps: explore about it, be updated about the hackathons that are happening, and most importantly, start building a small tech stack. That could be anything. You might even change your interest later, but start with building up a tech stack so that you are an asset to any team you wish to join.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very informative. The sites that you said, like at least for me, I'll definitely join them.
I'll mention them in the chats, okay? A
Thank
couple
you,
of
ma'am.
resources
Thank you
I'll
so much,
mention.
ma'am.
Sure.
Thank
Oh
you,
my
ma'am.
God.
So, our next question is for Kuldeep sir, and the question is: while building a team for a hackathon, what attributes should one look for? What, according to you, makes a strong team?
Yeah, I think part of this Srishti covered, like what skill, etc. you might need. You need exploration. You need that practice. So, but what team actually completes each other is, um, it may not be the number of people. It is about the group or even a single person. If that person has that capability, then person can also do that. So thing is, what we are talking about engineering background, since we all are here from there. Engineer has a purpose to solve something. Okay, so what team will really um really be good for hackathon? In my opinion, there are a number of attributes you need to have. One is you need to be a thinker beyond the normal. Uh, you should be honest in putting effort. Um, it can be, as I said, it can be 1%, 2%, 3%. It doesn't matter, but someone should be good at thinking. Someone should be good at selling the idea. So just like a startup or a company need all type of people. Ideation, this hackathon team is also comprises of all these factors. Someone is good at finance, how this whole idea will fly, how much investment you need to put in, till what, and someone need to be good at execution, how this whole thing will actually get executed. You might not have lakhs of rupees to invest on the first day on hackathon. You might have great idea, but you don't have that execution. Just like Swati ma'am told, you have great idea, fine, but if you don't have good execution plan, so someone need to be good at execution, that this is how we present, these are the phases it will, because we don't expect everything on the day one or day three of hackathon it will be perfect. We understand it is just a 3 days hackathon. No one is expecting production ready perfect quality output. What we need is, there is honest effort put in, and how you're executing, what is the evolutionary way, what next, what you have done now, what is the next. So just don't limit yourself in those 3 days. There are more to it. The 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 outcome is actually starts once you finish your hackathon. Just think about that aspect. So it's not within the hackathon, whether you win or not win, it doesn't matter. But actual thing will start once you complete your hackathon. What you learn from there, from that point onward, lot of startups are coming in with those ideas, and they take further. I have, from last 3-4 years, I have been judging these hackathon. I now know many startups even coming from those students where I interacted, and they continue interacting with us. And it is really amazing to see that journey. So it's a journey. It's not just one event. Hackathon is not just one event, and the team will be changing, um, and all the skills you will be acquiring with time. So it's not a fixed thing that okay, these are the things. If these are there, then it's the best team. Nothing like that. You the team will come together with the same set of mindset, or even diverse set of mindset. Even I would suggest to have for a best team, in my opinion, is a diverse team, diverse background, diverse, because that's where the thinking is. So that's what's a diverse inclusive team is, the team that can drive things in further. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Um, Moving on, my next question is for Swati ma'am. Tackling the problems during a hackathon is not easy, and sometimes we tend to get stuck. So, according to you, what is the best way to get better at problem solving in general, or finding a solution to a given problem statement at a hackathon?
Read the problem twice. Sometime what I have observed that people start, I mean, they're in very hurry, right? They'll start working on solution without realizing or understanding problem well. So read it twice or thrice, how many time it requires, right? And then try to get the view from everyone, whoever is there in the team, to understand what exactly is the problem and what can be the possible solution. Align your solution always with the problem statement. I have seen some very good end products, but the end product or solution is not aligned with the problem, and we have to drop those teams from the final one. So that is the key, and talk to as many people as you want, right? Connect with the your network, your teachers, if that is allowed as per the rules of that hackathon. So connect with the experts who can give you advice and who can give suggestion. And sometimes what I have observed that within hackathon there is a mechanism that they'll give you some input before the final judgment, right? So take those inputs seriously, ask intelligent questions, and see what suggestions are coming and how you can integrate those solutions in your project. But I think understanding the problem is the crux. Don't start your coding or solutioning without understanding the problem. I seriously have to drop a lot of projects at the end because that was not addressing the actual problem statement.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So, moving on, the next question is we have is for Srishti ma'am, and the question is, how are hackathons different from competitive coding, and what different learnings do we get from them? Which is which of the two is more beginner friendly?
Okay, so you've asked three questions, okay? I'll address them one by one. How are hackathons different from competitive coding? So hackathon is basically a social coding event, or it is also called as Code Fest. The main objective is that you are either given a theme. For example, in the last hackathon that I was judging, it was environment conservation through computing. Okay, so that's a basic general theme. Or like Swati ma'am mentioned, there is a problem statement that's given and you have to address it via computing. Now, the point that I want to highlight over here is that computing does not equate coding. Okay, so you need not be a fantastic coder who knows Python, Java, C++, everything in order to solve a problem. You need to have a, a very solution oriented mindset, innovative, out of the box thinking. It could be something with ML, AI, deep learning, whatever is happening these days, crypto. But the main objective is that you are presented with a puzzle and you have to solve it, and you have to bring a plausible solution, something pragmatic, something practical. Not like, if you said that there's a lot of pollution happening, so you say that my project is about building electric helicopters. Okay, something realistic and something that's doable. That's number one. That's what the objective of a hackathon is, that collectively a lot of engineers come together and they brainstorm upon a social problem or a theme. Now, what happens in competitive coding, on the other hand, is that these people are genuinely focused on the coding aspect. So their prime focus area would be data structures, algorithms, and using that technical knowledge, they actually focus on a very niche problem statement that's focused only on the technicalities of data structures and algorithms. That's what usually happens in competitive coding. And of course, it's both the things are time bound. That's the similarity. Now, this is the difference. Now, the second one you asked was that what different learnings do we get from both the things, hackathons and competitive coding? First of all, let's understand that competitive coding can only be uh, preferred by someone who is at least to a level of who has achieved a level of comfort in coding. On the other hand, hackathon could be, as I mentioned, beginner friendly in the terms that maybe let's say you are good at pitching, as Sir Kuldeep sir mentioned that you are good at selling a product and explaining its market value or how the product can be scaled up in a market or transformed into a startup. So you can participate in a hackathon if even if you're not very good with coding, but for competitive coding, you need to know that. The learning that you get from competitive coding is okay, so let's be very direct and honest here. If you plan to go for Microsoft, Google, or like ma'am is in Amazon, Facebook, then I think competitive coding is a preferred path because these companies prefer to directly hire software engineers, and a major portion of credit goes to what your rank is on certain portals like Geeks for Geeks, Top Coder. On the other hand, winning multiple hackathons is a route which usually people who aspire to be an entrepreneur prefer because you come across a lot of ideas, you form a team, you work on projects that are genuinely possible to implement in the real world. So I have seen a lot of startup founders and people with an entrepreneurial bent of mind in the hackathons compared to competitive coding. And the third one is which one is more beginner friendly? Hackathon. Definitely, hackathon is more beginner friendly. And I would also recommend that I think it's difficult in the first year. So, first year, explore everything. Go to hackathons, go to competitive coding. Don't go with the aim of winning, just go with the aim of exploring. And then, second year onwards, try to make up your mind that what is the field that you would rather be inclined to and try to go towards. And if it is being a software engineer, if you enjoy coding, let's say 6 7 hours a day, then go for competitive coding, more on that side. And if you feel happy by interacting with people, solving problems, pitching in front of a huge audience, some people have stage fear. So if you are comfortable with pitching your idea and you have a business and analytical bent of mind, then go more for hackathons. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. My next question is for Kuldeep sir. For a programmer, is it a must to go for hackathons? What do you gain from the experience of getting into one? Like, how does it boost your career?
I think Srishti covered in good length where exactly you need to go in hackathon and where you should be going in this competitive side, competitive coding side. But with this question, I want to change one thing. This programmer tag is not an engineering, please. You are an engineer with a purpose. Just stay with that purpose. Programming, I am a programmer. Okay, today people are saying I am a YouTuber also. Okay, so it's not a degree or anything, or it's a tag. I am a programmer. It's not a tag. I have met the hackathon participants from class 12th or 11th. They are good at programming. So programming is you have analytical skill to solve something, and you have a communication language to talk to computer. That's it. That's a programming. If you can communicate to some other thing, it may be computer, it may be a different language. It's just that. But that skill is not a programming. I don't consider programming as an engineering thing. First of all, it can be anything. You don't need to be engineer for to being a programmer. So programmer is a way to communicate with machine. That's it. Now, coming to your question, whether it's a must to go for a programmer, so-called programmer, to hackathon. So this question is like, is the exercise important for us? Should we do exercise even if I am eating good and having food great? Should I do exercise? It's like that. If we don't do exercise, we will we will not be healthy. Okay, so you are gaining skill day by day. You are being a software side, because most of the because there are a lot of engineer went into software side, but there are a lot of other aspects also. So these are tools, the programming language. These are just tools. They are not really solution. Neither Java, neither Python, or any skill you're talking. They are just the tools. But still, the problem and solution is a different area. Unless you experiment yourself. So you ideation, for example. So being whether we go in hackathon or not, how we train our mind to start thinking, be a thinker, to solve something. This particular thing will be needed at every place, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are joining a company or organization. Every day we need to solve something. So so there are everyday problem, like even you can, Swati ma'am can also explain. She's in security every day. Like recently, Log4j, this vulnerability come and everyone was on toes. Like, okay, go and find all the project and upgrade them and all the stuff. So every day you need to solve something, and you need a plan to solve it. You need an execution plan. If some vulnerability came in, how would you solve in this bigger system? Look at the scale of Amazon. How would you fix if something is lying there? So every day you need a way to solve something. So now, unless you practice that, it will be hard that it will be overnight you gain that skill. So better you experiment or experience it, try it more and more. Um, so I have a one theory that whatever we do, we become better at it. If I keep sleeping all the day, I get better at sleeping. So that's how. If I do participate in hackathon, it doesn't matter I win or not, but I will be better at that particular thing. So that way, I would say yes. It doesn't matter whether you are the tagged programmer or not. Participate and explore. That's what engineering is. If you don't explore enough, then it's a 4-year thing, and that's what the outcome is. Focus on outcome, what you are gaining, not on the degree or anything. And for career specifically, since the question is asked related to that, I'm not sure. Um, for just like by exercising, whether I'll be um, I'll gain something. I don't know. So career wise, when we actually hire people, so how many hackathon you won, how many ideas you have floated, probably they play some role, but they are not the only factor. There are a lot of things went into when we do interview. In that interview, how you perform, that plays the role. Whatever you have done in past, that will definitely play some role. Maybe somewhere some entry criteria may fulfill, even if you clear some interview or something, but what you do is the key. So it's not about getting into some company or just starting something or just spawn up a startup. It is about execution, how you survive. So this is all there. So I think people will decide now whether they want to participate or not.
Thank you, sir. Like you mentioned, problem solving is definitely a skill that you only acquire with experience. And I think so hackathons can give us that experience. Moving on.
Yeah.
So Our next question is for Swati ma'am, and the question is, how important is the project's market viability, its social and business aspect in a hackathon?
As I was saying, right, that it should be able to solve the problem. And when we say it should solve the problem solution will have impact on either business or on some social cause. So definitely it's very important to relate it with the actual world, right? If I'm trying to solve a problem and not trying to relate it with a reality, obviously the solution is not effective. So understanding market and creating the value in terms of impact will help you to visualize the end result better. And if you are able to give that picture to your judges or whoever is evaluating the project, it's easy for them to relate with the solution, right? So I feel it's very important. And I have seen teams, whichever they are able to relate with the actual market viability and the social cause, they are able to communicate the overall solutioning better.
Thank you, ma'am. So the next question, my next question is for Shrishti Gupta, ma'am. How important are management and leadership skills in a hackathon team?
Um, Management and leadership skills are important in every team of every organization and competition. That's first. Now let's understand that why this question came up. When we just begin our college life, we are unsure, and of course we are the junior most in the college. School में senior most होने के बाद, then again we are in first year and junior most in the college. So that confidence takes a big hit. So no first year student can say that I have amazing leadership skills. That's point number one. Now, the point number two is that this question arose because I've witnessed many first year students who form groups and teams and they participate in hackathons and they want to win. But let's say that one person in the team is good with pitching and the rest of them have basic skill set. Now, the problem arises when all of them think that they know the best. So that causes friction in the team. That's when the role of a leader comes, that you've got, let's say, 24 or 48 hours limited stipulated time of a hackathon in which you have to make multiple decisions. First of all, brainstorm a lot of ideas. All the inputs of the team need to come, then finalize upon one idea, and then there would be multiple steps for implementing that finalized idea. And at every step there might be a friction, or there could be a cross view of points. So that's where the leader has to step in and ensure that we have social cohesion amongst the team members. If you force a decision upon them, let's say the coder says that, you've not taken my idea, so I'm not going to code for it nicely. That's not going to help. So whenever you make a team, just set ground rules that the decision making would be consensus based, and whatever the final decision be, irrespective of who pitched it in the team, the entire team would put in efforts to make it a success in that way. So leadership and management would definitely play a role when you are stressed, when you have time crunch, and when you need to deliver something of good quality. So that's how important management and leadership are in a hackathon situation.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, so our next question would be for Kuldeep sir, and the question is, with the pandemic, everything has changed. What are your views on the difference in the offline and online based hackathons and their experience?
Yeah, that's so I started judging actually pre-pandemic and then went into pandemic. Second Smart India Hackathon was in pandemic, and definitely a lot of things changed. Uh, but but this is part of life. That's where opportunity is, and that's why it is expected from engineers to find solution. Uh, and I think we found some, not everything we are able to solve, but find some solutions. We are on video call, just like this type of interaction with students was never assumed like will be doing that way, because I have been going in the actual colleges, and I need to actually see my schedule. A lot of thing was to actually on stake on weekend, whether I'll be able to go to college or not, how far the college is. Sometime we need to travel a lot to actually interact with for such kind of session. But now it's a normal thing. The Zoom, Teams, and all these things become so part of life that kids are doing every day, and they are better than even sometime. Like my son, 9 year old, he come with me with some of the different ways. Okay, Teams has a get this go together together feature where people can see together in just on the chair and all. I was like, okay, I have never tried. So this ideation and finding new opportunities um, is always there in our mind. Just like we Indians are actually grown up, we have seen from our birth. We actually see a lot of problem, and we are actually problem solver from our birth. So just focus on that part. We'll find a lot of things. So now coming to the actual what challenges we have faced in past. So, and that's actually sometime very difficult. Uh, Sometimes we need to actually discard the complete solution. One thing is like, please plan when you are presenting in hackathon. Please plan that there might be network issue. You might not be able to stream your video. Your expression might not be when you are not on video due to network issue. It happened in multiple people are presenting and the network was not good. They were not able to present with videos. Now when there is no video, it's hard to see the expression and the emotions and all those stuff. So whether the idea is really authentic, how much hard work you have put in, we are just listening that. But how you have executed, what all challenges you, because it's a journey. And when I say, the moment the day one you start hackathon, you get an idea, you have a raw idea and raw way to implement. Then the most important part we look in hackathon, how you progressed from that day to the last final solution. So that's a journey, and that's the key part, how you went from A stage to B stage. It doesn't matter how many problems came in, and it's about how you solve them and what is still unsolved. What are the, as I said, what are the next steps that when you take this idea to scale, what will happen? So all these things, mentorship in some hackathons there is a mentorship plan, but on remote setup mentorship was a little difficult because even participants were on different places. Some was listening, some couldn't listen because of the network and all. So that's one side where communication still a challenge. Not everyone has all the good speed, internet speed. uh, Other thing that for actual judging, it takes some time, more time, because of all these different issues, different disturbance, and it's based on certain marking we have. So it's always difficult to actually judge some great idea just by listening for 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, think about, judges need to need to point, give score on all different thing, that how authentic the idea is, whether it's a copy paste or not, or how much honest effort went into, what is the feasibility, and all the practicality and all those different parameters, um, we need to think through. So that all of those things was difficult with this new setup. Um, every hackathon, some of the common ideas was generally there. Face detection and all those things are already there. Copy paste, lot of stuff is coming common. So it's really difficult to actually see whether what is the effort people put in, or in the given time, is this effort is planned only in the given time, because some ideas looks like effort might be going from last 6 months. And today we are talking about hackathon, like every college is doing hackathon now. Similar ideas are floating. So I went into NIT hackathon, then another hackathon. Looks like same person is presenting, or the idea is it's like I have heard everything, whatever presentation, even the slides are same. So so if a person, even if judges are not really has not seen the other thing, other then it's actually hard whether the honest idea is getting win, um, getting getting the appreciation or not. That's in, I think that's a challenge. And more this is going, this will be more like. But I think from the engineering side, as I said, you have a purpose, focus on that. Your purpose is not to copy paste the idea and win something. If winning that way is actually no winning, it's a loss of everyone. It's a loss of judges side. We could not judge the right. It's a loss from your side, that someone else whose idea was great, that idea could not went into. So I think these are the challenges that can be solved not by just by one side. It need to be solved by both student communities. They make sure, and even hackathon organizer, they make sure the authentic ideas on GitHub, etc. Wherever you are putting source code, apply some tools that make sure it doesn't copy the thing. There are some tools that can also enable there. So yeah, I think it will be solved with the
Thank you,
with
sir.
the
I think the pandemic did one thing good, that we could get such great speakers on like from different places on platform like online.
yeah,
So
yeah.
my next question is for Swati ma'am. We have seen many companies conduct hackathons these days, like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, etc., with specific problem statements. What exactly do they gain from doing so?
So I can't answer it for like all the organizations. I can answer it why our organization or my organization does support hackathons. One, I mean, if you look at the leadership principles that we have, one is the hire and develop best. And then we understand that being such a large organization, we have huge responsibility and we need to support the social cause as well. And third, which I feel is really important, no matter we document it or not, uh, is that we need to create a new pipeline of people who can come and solve the problem, right? So, uh, for job seekers, and especially when we are in college, it looks like getting job is a bigger problem. But honestly, now we realize that getting right people is even bigger challenge. So we try to solve that as well with that, and getting in like fresh ideas, right? Sometime you can get an idea from interns, right? And they have some fresh approach to solve the problem, which even like experienced people may have not thought about it. There may be some tweaking that is required, but I mean, I related one of the example, right? So when there was a war between US and Japan, US was not sure that how they'll give reply to Japan for attacking on the Pearl Harbor, right? So one of the like very junior most person came up with a solution, and the head of army, he said that everyone leave the room. I want only this person to answer the problem. And I feel sometimes people who are coming from like out of the environment and they can give you a unique solution. So I think getting a fresh idea is something that is a strong value proposition that I see personally. And as an organization, I feel that it is very important to invest in new leaders and new tech solvers. So I think these are some of the reasons. I don't know about the other organization, but Amazon believes that it's very important to get the new tech leaders and support them and mentor them on time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So moving on, our next question is for Srishti ma'am, and the question is, what are the things or nitpicks that throws you off in a project, presentation, or team?
Okay, couple of them actually. First, as Kuldeep sir mentioned, that copying directly from Google or presenting somebody else's project or code as your own and thinking that nobody will notice. I think that is number one. Second is what Swati ma'am mentioned, that you've designed a fantastic project, but you didn't focus on the actual ask of the question or the problem that you're presented with. So even though it's really good, but we are forced to not consider it while evaluating the finalists. That hurts us as well. So please focus on the problem statement that you're given. Third is that even in the pandemic also and offline also, develop an MVP. MVP is a minimum viable product. So instead of coming up only with a theoretical approach to solving the problem, or just a utopian idea as a solution to a problem, come with something concrete. Could be a small thing, could be just a small video of how that product is working or looking, something in action that builds so much credibility on your part as a team that you are able to implement something, show us something, and also for us to evaluate, because uh, ideas can be fantastic, putting it on paper is easy, but then bringing something as a viable solution into the real world, that's the actual ask, and that is the objective for organizing a hackathon. So if you could provide an MVP, that helps in a beautiful way in evaluating and gives you also a lot of credibility. That is point three. Point four, something that puts us off is when sometimes the teams are not very receptive to feedback. So when I used to participate in hackathons, I was eager to receive suggestions and feedbacks, because these are the people who've come across several projects like mine and know the industry and can guide. So that was my prime focus. After the pitch has ended, I would rather ask questions from them. But of lately, I'm noticing that it's good to have conviction and confidence in the product that you're presenting, but also be receptive to if there are some loopholes being pointed out. That will eventually help you, and seek suggestions, ask for improvement, how you can actually do the improvements. I think that is really helpful in future also, because you can develop upon, let's say you've developed ABC and you've got some suggestions and feedback, then you can present it as ABCDEF in the next hackathon and increase your chances of winning. So be receptive to that. And as the question you earlier asked about leadership and management, so please ensure that the team you choose is not just because they are amazing coders. Have a cordial relationship with them so that duration of the hackathon is also pleasant for you. Do not have fights during the hackathon, and let's just come with the objective of growing together. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I have one question for all the speakers. You all have judged such prestigious hackathons and have mentored so many students. So, could you brief us about any extraordinary hackathon project that you came across?
Yeah, I can. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead. I'll add later.
Okay. Yeah, there are actually many. or both side example, like what Srishti is talking, a lot of such example was also there. Um, and like like people collaborated together, but they actually aggregated all of the technology in one solution and then presented, like face detection, everything was there. And then there was no problem solving, actually it is just copy pasting stuff. uh, you port some data model from somewhere, which is already prepared, and then you trained model download from some website, and then you detect face, and based on face you do a number of things. So those ideas were also there one side, where a lot of copy paste, and just by looking at idea you will start feeling that the moment the participants start presenting, judges are also starting at the parallel on Google who is building such thing, and similar ideas, and then similar questions from previous experience also. uh, Within few minutes they come to know it's then they then even participant also speak that they copied things and stuff like that. On the other side, there are some interesting projects also, how execution happened. Let me quote one example here. The idea was related to your if a person do not wear a helmet, the bike will not start. So this was the idea on IoT sensors, etc. And then when there is a pressure in the helmet, there is a pressure sensor. Once you have pressure on helmet, those sensors, then only the circuitry, the cutoff will happen on the bike thing. Now, this idea was very raw at the start, because it was a physical hackathon, Smart India hackathon, and person need to travel. Obviously, person was coming from Chennai to Haryana in one of the college where I was doing this. Person cannot have bike. First of all, they are to show this. Okay, so they managed to arrange the bike. Uh, Coming from southern side of India, and they make friends in that college, arrange one bike, and then whatever the circuit etc they made, few of the items was not working there, and their communication skill was not great, to go to market in no, in the Haryana and then get something from that market. It's just a 2 days thing, and they figure out that whole thing. The execution was really great. The last day, because that idea was getting dropped, he was in top 5 from the day one. Then slowly it is getting down, because there was no presentation, could not showcase the idea, the team. Then they actually made that circuit there. They found these elements, they went into market. They asked us they asked us actually from they actually asked that they want to go for 2 hours outside this college to bring these things. And that was asked, please ask these things if you need something, and they asked it, the college. So then we realized that this idea is great. If these guys, if we give them opportunity, then they can bring in. One person went with we actually arranged some college person there, and the person went with them in market and bring those pieces of sensors, and they added that circuit and made it then and there. And the final day, 30 minutes before, he was able to showcase it live in front of college. A lot of people joined there. So special arrangement we made, and we went into that location where he was able to showcase the whole idea. So and I think he won second or third prize, whatever that was. But the execution was really great. There was a problem in the whole three days. Lot of pressure. The team was coming, and they had problem of communication. No one actually understanding Hindi, and outside market or even the staff, they need to talk to college. There are most of Hindi folks, and lot of other challenges to go in market. There was a Sunday, and Sunday market generally remain down, shut down, and so a lot of challenges, but they managed it. So that's where lot of point went into execution side. They stayed calm. They actually every moment they were finding solution. Every moment, like even night, they were finding some or other solution. So I would appreciate that lot of effort and how they solve the problem, how they actually went into this whole thing. So this is the honest effort we are talking here. Yeah, maybe other example from.
I would like to quote one example from the recent hackathon that I evaluated. So there were two teams, and both those teams were working on one problem statement that was creating a chatbot for the cyber police or cyber cell. So both the teams were good. Their technical solutions were all, I mean, equal, or I'll say that getting almost same evaluation points. Uh, Unexpectedly, team which was comparatively on lower side won the final evaluation, and reason was that they have been balanced throughout the hackathon or the 3 days. They maintained the consistency, they maintained the teamwork, the communication, they were able to handle the technical glitches that were coming in between, and the quality of leader was there, that if there is anything which is going wrong, she was able to handle it very well, and she was able to handle the situation impromptu basis. So sometimes non-technical skill sets, communication, maintaining the consistency, I think these are the small things, but it can give you surprising results.
Um, the example that comes to my mind is that yesterday I was judging for a hackathon, and the idea that finally won was, so this person is from IIT, and he developed a system and to actually enable blind people or the ones who are visually impaired, to enable them to type on their own without the help of braille keyboards also. So, in braille keyboards, it's pretty much similar to our keyboards, and the engravements are, coming out so that the person can identify the keys. But then it's like 35, 40 keys to identify and move your finger over, just like a book. So, becomes very effortful. He came up with a solution to first reduce it to 10 joysticks and then eventually to 2 joysticks, whereby moving the joysticks in combination of left, right, forward with both the hands, the person can type all the alphabets and the numbers. And this was something really innovative. For the first time, I came across this. And the best part about is are 2 points actually. First is that he showed us in real time on video the execution of the project. So the hackathon was for 4 days, and he prepared it and he showed us the execution live. And we could see that he's typing something, and we were actually saying something that, if just to confirm that you've not memorized what to write. So we dictated something, and he was able to write that in front of us. The second thing is that this person, he prepared it everything all alone, and he had an issue of stutter. So in the beginning, when he was giving the pitch, we were able to figure out, okay, like we have only 5 minutes per team, 6 minutes per team, so he might not be able to complete his pitch. But he was already smart enough to just speak for 2 minutes, and then for the next 4 minutes, he had prepared a video along with the presentation, so that his personal issue does not come in the way of the pitch, which is again very insightful. That, all of us have weaknesses, could be anything, but preparing for it beforehand and then making extra efforts so that within the stipulated time, rather than asking for extra time, within the stipulated time you are able to share your idea and your pitch and show the live example and execution. So I think that's a wholesome package, and multiple learnings to take back home.
Those were indeed really extraordinary projects. Thank you so much to our lovely panelists. You talked about problem solving skills, leadership skills, and so much more. Now, sir and ma'am, I would like to call the WIE core team members to please switch on their cameras. So, ma'am, these are the people who actually work behind the scenes to make this event a success and bring you all here together. And I would like to also request Adi Jain, Chairperson IEEE BU, to speak a few words to pay sincere gratitude to our senior panelists.
Am I audible, Karishma?
Yes, yes, you are.
So, good evening, Kuldeep sir. Good evening, Shishti ma'am. Good evening, Swati ma'am. So, at very first today, I would like to thank you to all the dignitaries from the bottom of my heart. It was truly a pleasure to have you all today with us. From the starting, I was here at the meeting, and being a second year student, I was also enthusiastic for the hackathons. And all the details that you have told from the beginning, it's very delightful and very insightful for me as well, and I guess I'm fully trusted for the audience as well. And it's truly a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
I'll take a picture of it. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for sparing. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time in conducting this valuable session. I would have loved for this to continue, but since due to paucity of time, I think so we'll end this session here. Thank you so much for joining, everyone.
Thanks
Just
a
one
lot.
request, just one request, Kuldeep sir, Shishti ma'am, Swati ma'am. Currently, although we are going at online mode from the university, but I would like to request as soon as we get to the offline mode, we would like to invite you for the offline hackathons. We would definitely love to invite you because from
I've been actually in engineering college as lecturer for 2 years before I started my corporate career.
okay.
Uh, that is something that I really love. And once my corporate career is like over and I am done with that, I'll go back to universities because that is a place where you interact with people like you who are innovative and amazing in terms of different skill sets. So for me, it was like last 1 hour was awesome. Thanks for inviting, and wherever it's possible, I would love to interact in physical or online mode. So thanks a lot for inviting. Thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was actually our pleasure.
And definitely, really thanks for inviting us. Uh, it's for generally I treat it for my personal agenda. It give me refreshment actually. When I talk to young mind, new ideas and everything coming from very fresh raw, we I treat myself very polluted with experience. I know what doesn't work, what works. That's a pollution. But for you, it's nothing like that. Everything you can make work. So that's where I think with the young and new mind, and that's what my expectation from the upcoming generation is, that bring the thing that we could not solve this. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you so much, sir.
Um, Grateful that you invited us. Thank you so much. Just like Kuldeep sir said, and Swati ma'am also. So I love interacting with the audience, and having been a community manager and then shifting to the corporate world, that somehow took a backseat. So by coming to hackathons and being a speaker, that feeling of connecting with people who actually listen and sharing ideas feels great. Another benefit is that when I come to hackathons and eventually some teams have a product and they want to understand how they can enter the business, or they have a startup in the budding stage and they want to scale up, then I feel really good because I can help them connect with the right people or scale up and share ideas and collaborate on projects. So that just gives a renewed energy and a beautiful way of contributing together. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was actually a pleasure. So we'll end
Thank
the
you so much,
session here.
dignitaries. Just last one question from my side. Being in a second year student, I have not interacted with my friends, with my peers from past 2 years or itself. From the very starting, I am in the university. I am sitting at my home and have not interacted with my peers. So how do you think, personally, it's very difficult for me and my peers as well to connect with each other in online mode and to, participate in these hackathons where the team building, where the interaction, where the coordination is very, very important. Because you see itself, for example, if we have to meet or if we have to talk to someone in online mode, we have to schedule a full meeting. We have to see slots where everyone is free. But if you are at the university, you can, interact with each other at any time. So how do you think, it has affecting the life of students or how we can manage it?
I think there are few things, Adi, which are beyond control, right? And pandemic is such one things, right? Nobody like to be locked at home, and nobody like to be like isolated. Human are, I mean, social animal, right? So we love to see people face to face, but there are certain limitations where we can't do anything. But I think we can focus on the positives, right? I feel honored that I can connect with more people because it's online, right? So instead of like connecting with 15, 20 people, I can connect with probably 200 people because it's online. I can connect. The distance is not that barrier. Similarly, we don't have to travel, we don't have to bother about the traffic. So we can keep our mind focusing on what is positive and what can be done in given circumstances, because we can't change certain things. So but what is a positive? And so instead of like scheduling a call, give a casual call to your team members, connect with them and see what they like, what is their preference, what time works for them. So and based on that, connect with them and see what can be done better.
Absolutely agreeing with Swati ma'am's point. And Adi, modern problems require modern solutions. So, if you feel like you want to connect with a lot of people and are stuck at home in the pandemic, you're not alone. Many people want to connect with fellow members and find new team members actually. So there are multiple events that are happening online just for interaction purposes, where fellow coders and people with ideas come together, and on that platform online they are forming teams. Somebody has an idea, somebody is good with front end, somebody is good with back end, and the fourth person is good with pitching and the business side. So figure out and find about those events first. And second is that so you're the chairperson of IEEE, right? Similarly, just have weekly meetings with your team members, or let's just extend it to the entire college, so that just float out a word that the people interested in forming a team for hackathon are welcome to join. And you will be surprised that so many are like you and they want team members. And I hope that you get a very positive response online.
Yep. I call this situation actually with 2 points. One is new normal. The change is only constant thing. So it's a new normal. And the second point I generally tell myself is it's okay. It's okay to not meet personally. It's okay. So because that's a situation. If it would have been in our control, we would have actually do face to face. But look at other opportunities, just like I have attended a few of the hackathon, not just India, they made it international. Would it have been possible without this online setup? The whole hackathon, there were people participating from Sri Lanka, there were people participating from Nepal and other countries from universities. So they went into international hackathon. Earlier we used to have national level college fest and all these. Was if we would have organized those things in our life, it was like, oh my god, we did a national level event. But now the whole world is coming close.